Hi guys, welcome to my video about the large intestine, one of the most amazing organs ever in existence. Starring me and my hand. So basically, the large intestine is a 1.5 meter long organ that is 7.5 centimeters in diameter. It's a fundamental aspect of the digestive system, as a lot of vitamins and water that you need to stay healthy are absorbed here. However, before we look at the path chyme follows through the colon, we must first understand the layers of tissue that work together to aid in digestion. The innermost layer is known as the mucosa. This is also known as a mucous membrane and contains goblet cells that secrete mucus that lubricate the intestine. Next is the submucosa, which contains all of the blood vessels and the nerves. This layer transports nutrients around the body. The following layer is the muscularis, which contains many smooth muscles allowing for peristalsis to occur. The small pouches on the outside of the intestine are haustra, which are contracted smooth muscle tissue that add to the surface area of the intestines. Finally, the outer layer is the serosa, which is also known as the visceral peritoneum that surrounds. Our journey of the long intestine commences in the cecum, a small, short, pouch-like ensemble of tissues. Chyme enters into the cecum via the contractions and relaxations of the ileocecal sphincter. The chyme is then pushed upwards through peristalsis and heads to the ascending colon. But first, let's take a look at one of the more controversial components of the large intestine, the appendix. Medical researchers are conflicted about the organ's function. One hypothesis suggests that the appendix is a vestigial organ, a remnant of a once larger cecum that aided in primitive humans for digestion of cellulose of plants. Another hypothesis states that the appendix is a storehouse for commensal bacteria, protecting some of these vital organisms from being flushed out during diarrheal illnesses. However, none of these theories remain proven and the debate continues. Now we enter the ascending colon. Commensal bacteria that are native to the large intestine, mix in with the chyme and extract the vitamins and the intestinal wall absorb, including vitamin K, vitamin B1, vitamin B2, and vitamin B12. The water that is reabsorbed by the intestines so that we remain hydrated. Without the large intestine, the body would face dehydration and lack important vitamins. The ascending colon then makes a 90-degree turn at the hepatic flexure, where the extraction of vitamins and absorption of water continues in the transverse colon. The colon makes another sharp turn at the splenic flexure and descends into the descending colon. Here, there is limited extraction of water and vitamins, as most of the hard work has been completed in earlier stages of digestion. The feces now enters into the sigmoid colon. There is again very little digestion of any kind. Instead, the primary function of the S-shaped sigmoid colon is to accumulate feces and send it off to the rectum. The rectum is the final stage before it's excreted through the anus and into our toilets. The feces is no longer discernible from the glorious food that it used to be. Now it's just a wonderful assortment of undigested material, bacteria, and dead cells. And surprisingly, a large component of feces is also water, which a lot of people don't know. As fecal waste collects in the rectal walls, the pressure they exert upon the walls increase. Stretch receptors send signals to the brain, increasing our need to go poop, paired with an uncomfortable feeling to defecate. The brain sends a signal to the anal sphincter to relax, letting poop swoop on out of your body. Now I know what you're thinking. If what I said is true, why isn't everyone in the world simply pooping their pants? Well, I'm not done. See, there are two anal sphincters. The internal anal sphincter, which is composed of visceral muscles, and the external sphincter, which is composed of skeletal muscles. The external sphincter does not relax until a voluntary signal from the cerebral cortex allows it to do so. Now let's do a quick review. The large intestine absorbs water and vitamins. Another important function is the neutralization of the acids from earlier stages of digestion through bicarbonate produced by the mucosa. Furthermore, the large intestine also contains many lymphoid tissues, which aid in immunity by creating antibodies. One of the most common illnesses of the large intestine, specifically the colon and the rectum, is colorectal cancer. It affects nearly 135,000 people annually, which represents 8% of all cancers. This disease commonly originates in the mucosa, as this layer of tissue is exposed to the most toxic substances and wear and tears. Therefore, the cells in the mucosa are always being replaced, leaving a lot of room for cancer to occur. When or if a cancerous cell is formed, it grows to become an abnormal growth called a polyp. The polyps are precancerous and grow slowly over time, while not spreading. However, if the polyps from the mucosa start to grow inwards and penetrate the other layers of tissue, the polyps become cancerous. This process takes about 10 years to occur, as polyps grow very slowly, so colorectal cancer occurs over a long period of time. The tumor specifically grows in two stages. First, the growth starts to penetrate other tissue layers, creating feelings of fullness and feelings of discomfort. After the initial stages, the cancer undergoes metastasis, in which the tumor starts to shed cells, which then impact other distant parts of the body. The most common areas that colorectal cancer affects are the lymph nodes, lungs, and liver. Symptoms of colorectal cancer may vary and are very unspecific. They include dark blood in stool, bloating, change in bowel habits, etc. One of the best methods to determine whether or not you suffer from colorectal cancer is through a colonoscopy. This procedure uses a 4-foot-long flexible tube with a camera and light source attached at the tip. This finger-length tube is called a colonoscope. During a colonoscopy, a gastroenterologist slowly inserts the scope into the anus and can reach as far as the cecum in search of any abnormalities, such as a polyp. If an abnormality is picked up, the gastroenterologist inserts forceps through an opening in the colonoscope to get biopsy. This is then analyzed by a pathologist under a microscope to check if it's a benign or malignant. If a patient under treatment for colorectal cancer, healthcare professionals can use a tumor marker blood test to detect whether or not the treatment is effective. Colon and rectal cancer cells emit a carcin or embryonic antigen. This can be tracked by professionals to determine the concentration of the cancer cells, thereby revealing how effective the treatment is. As you can tell, the large intestine plays a vital role in the digestive system that provides the body with many vitamins and keeps it hydrated. It stores feces until it is ready to be ejected and ensures that defecation does not occur without our consent. Always remember to appreciate your intestine. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.